Hello and welcome back to another Travel Risk Management Health Safety and Security Advisory Tip. My name's Tony Ridley, Editor-in-Chief at TravelRiskManagementSolutions.com. Location, content and education is a prescriptive or mandatory process for anybody undertaking travel. The reason I say this is that you would no sooner allow an individual to arrive at an office block or arrive to operate a piece of machinery without some type of confirmatory or upskilling or specific education and information learning applied to that circumstance. So therefore, why is it excluded when it comes to travel if you're not already doing it? So what this means is that the journey itself, the destination, requires content, requires education, requires induction, and this needs to be variable. So a person who's traveling for the first time to a location would clearly require a more comprehensive overview and briefing than someone who's perhaps making their 10th journey in the last 3 months. So this contextual orientation, this information should be inclusive of resources available, the nature of the journey, and certainly identify and outline any threats and hazards. Now, in some organisations, this information is also extended to the family or executive assistants or people overseeing the journey, so as they too are both orientated and aware of the types of circumstances and incidents that they need to be prepared for or transpire in these types of locations. And it needs to be contextual in nature. It can't be a broad brush generic, and increasingly so it can't just be about the country, because many cities within large continental areas are vastly different from the east coast to the west coast, from the north to the south. They vary immensely. So too do the resources, the potential arrival processes, the preferred hotels, accommodation, where the meetings are taking place. All of these things are highly contextual and need to be considered or included in the location and content education when it comes to preparing travellers. Any lack of ability to demonstrate this type of education or induction is tantamount to negligence. The reality is, in the event of an incident, a negative incident that impacts the individual or the organisation, and you can't demonstrate that you even prepared the individual, as I referred to earlier, like operating machinery, then you simply have no recourse to demonstrate that you applied the basic principles of health, safety and security in the fact that you prepared an individual for the task to be undertaken, it was fit for purpose, it was job specific, and then the task was undertaken. And even any lessons learnt and the improvement of that process and the evolution to include events or incidents that have taken place also needs to be considered. You can't overlook it, you can't exclude it, and for those organisations not already doing, or even for service providers that are not providing to that context and granularity, then it can be, in worst case scenario, an admission of guilt that you have identified a foreseeable risk. You simply took inadequate measures to prepare somebody in the event of exposure, and therefore if there is a negative event, you have significant explaining to do, both from a legal as well as reputational basis. So once again, thanks very much for joining us for another Travel Risk Management Health, Safety and Security Advisory Tip. For more information and videos on this subject, please visit the website at www.travelriskmanagementsolutions.com. That's all for now. Thank you and goodbye.
Do you travel for business? Your health and safety is at risk. At Travel Risk Management Solutions, we help you reduce the risk of business travel. Get information and support for your company's social and legal objectives of reducing, managing, or eliminating business travel risks. We provide online business hazard identification information, location-specific business travel information, manager's guides, tools and checklists, training resources, and consulting. We ensure that business leaders and travel managers make informed decisions. Remove fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Ensure your workplace health and safety includes business travel today. Get your tips from www.travelriskmanagementsolutions.com.